So this morning I wanted to do another little kind of a testimony about how we can deal with the feelings that this stuff, these things and that they do, and the stalking stuff gives us. Last night, a couple different times during the night, I woke up in a horrible nightmare, worried about. I was looking at my lights or my walls to see if they're shining their little lights in the house. Worried about whether or not it was safe. Worried about, the next day before I'd even got any sleep for the night. And I really don't know how to deal with this. It's this stuff could make anybody crazy, even the strongest person that could make crazy. So I just don't want anybody out there to feel like they're alone like I do. Just talking to you guys a little bit over the comments on YouTube has given me a little bit of peace, and it's let me know that there are other people out there dealing with this stuff, and that I don't have to feel like I'm alone. But on the same token, I feel completely alone having to deal with these people doing these things, and trying to get somebody to believe me, not really having any recourse, because even if you do call the cops, what are the cops going to do? Nothing. So I think that the best thing you could do for yourself is to just try and not pay attention to it as much as you can. I know it's really, really hard to not think about what's going to happen next, or when they're going to try and beat you up next, or when they're going to steal your stuff, or if they're going to break in your apartment. And God, this is just the most horrible thing in the world. So I think also another really good thing is just to keep talking about it, even if it is just to yourself. I'm going to keep using this YouTube stuff as a way for me to get out my feelings, but I think that only goes so far. A person needs to know that they're safe to a degree. The world isn't a safe place. It's a really evil place where people do really evil stuff. And that's pretty much out of our control. But when it comes to these people, you just got to make sure you're not doing anything wrong, that you're right in your own mind, that you're confident about what you're doing. And it's just when it throws you into the panic attacks. I know just being having drug abuse problems and all that, it can lead you to a place where you want to get high and you want to get away from these feelings, because especially if you're alone, because you don't have any way to deal with them, and you just want to get out of the state of mind that you're in just for a minute, and just break it for a minute. And drugs are a very bad and very temporary solution. So, but talking, I think, can give you a bit of relief no matter what's going on. As long as you're talking to somebody and you're telling somebody what's going on, then it's even if you're just telling yourself or telling God, tell God about what's going on. Ask Him for protection. Ask Him to get behind you and what you're doing, and or just to stand in front of you. And to just ask Him for guidance, ask Him for peace, and ask Him that the truth be told. That these people can't handle the truth. They can't handle the truth that they're scum, that they're predators. I was telling somebody in the comments that the only people in our society that really display this kind of behavior are murderers and kidnappers and rapists. And I just don't see how anybody could rationalize in their mind doing this to somebody. In my experience, I've kind of figured out a bit that these are kind of the NIMBY conservative type, they're not in my backyard type of people that I'm dealing with. I don't know what anyone else is dealing with. I've heard people being gang stalked just over a parking space, where people, it can be, and it's not even really, with a lot of stuff, it's not really even gang stalking. It's just a mob mentality of stuff where people think that where they'll just gang up on you. And especially in the workplace too. People in the workplace deal with this where somebody doesn't like you and they'll kind of gang up on you, and everywhere you go where you're at work, people are looking at you funny or treating you like shit or making sure they make your job harder to do. And these people are just trying to make our lives hard to live. And even though they do a relatively good job at it, that doesn't mean that we can't live our lives and that we can't try and do what's right for us. So I'm, through all this, I'm trying to deal with my feelings as much as I can, and I'm diligently seeking treatment so that I can get my life together and deal with my problems and try and move on from me. And then, even though I'm dealing with this on top of that, and it's compounding the issue and giving me massive psychological problems, wrecking my sleep, making me want to use drugs. I've been able to keep myself sober, but it's been very, very hard. Oh, it's been so hard. So just do everything you can for yourself to make yourself feel good. Eat well. If you have the money, just eat healthy food. Drink as much liquids as you can. Try and stay away from the drugs and alcohol. I know it must be so hard for people on our end, at our level, that are dealing with this stuff, and just trying to have these people suck the vitality out of you in your life. So we have to try and inject that vitality back into our life. We have to be as good as we can to ourselves. And that means talking. That means giving yourself somebody to talk to, which could be you and just God, even if you don't have anybody else. You don't have to feel ashamed about talking, to yourself about what's going on and figuring it out yourself. I think everybody does that. I know everybody does that. Everybody talks to themselves and tries to talk out the situations that they're dealing with. And I think we all just need to do that. And we need to talk to as many people as we can that will listen. So that's about it for this morning, guys. Just try and stay safe. Try and stay sane, mostly. Be as good to yourself as you can.